Salutations, Celestial Sightseers. David Fuller here from Eyes on the Sky. I know I've been away a while from YouTube, and I apologize for that. There's been a number of things that have been going on. Number one, my wife and I bought a house. We also purchased some property, which has taken quite a bit of time, and I do want to talk to you a little bit more about that in a moment. And we've also had my stepdaughter, her daughter, and our granddaughter move near to us, and they've required assistance and some time as well. So Eyes on the Sky has had to be set off to the side for a while for those reasons, as well as me being somewhat burned out on it too. It sometimes becomes a lot of extra work, and I didn't really have the time and sometimes motivation to do that too. So I apologize for that, but I did want to update you on a few things that have been going on. One is one of those pieces of property that we purchased is right here behind me. It's this right here. If you go about 100 feet this direction here, and then about 130 feet or so that direction, it's about 1/3 of an acre. And you notice that we haven't really done a whole lot to that. There's a lot of dogwood, and there is a space right here, right, that we did clear out a little bit. And the plan was that we were going to use that for astrophotography and observing the night sky, because where this is located, we're under Bortle 4 skies. So not perfectly dark, but a whole lot better than any city skies or even suburban skies. We're in what's considered a rural transition area, and we really are rural around here. There's not a whole lot around, but there is still some light pollution. It's not very evident. We do get a lot of Milky Way, which is wonderful to be able to finally see all that. But after we purchased that particular piece of property, not too long after that, and we decided to purchase the house down here, another piece of property became available that was adjacent to this one. So if you look out this way, and not as far as where all those wind turbines are at, or even where that particular golf cart is driving, but there's a line of trees that goes down about 300 feet out that way, and it goes another 400 feet or so down there, and then all the way down. I do want to show you this too, but then see where that shed is down here. That is also ours as well. Now these particular buildings and containers are not, but that's the edge of where our property's at. But this right here, we cleared out, and we will be using both this and an area that's down this path right here for some meetup events, where we plan to have people actually come here to be able to see some dark skies and experience that. We bought a number of binoculars, we bought a number of observing chairs, and there's a community center right here where we live too that we can have people come to. And so we will be doing some of the types of presentations indoors that help people understand how to know what they're looking at up in the night sky. And then we'll have them come down here, down at these areas, and look at the night sky. And I want to note that this direction is facing south. And you'll notice there's no trees that way. There's nothing blocking the view that way. There's only a couple of towns that are maybe, I think they're a good 10, 12 miles away, the closest ones. So there's a couple little teeny light domes that you can see when it's dark, but otherwise it is almost black. And when the Milky Way is coming down there in the summer, it's absolutely gorgeous and stunning. It's truly amazing. We have this little shed here that allows us to hold some of our astronomy equipment, as well as things for taking care of the land, like, you know, a tractor and things like that. But this is really a cool spot, and we hope to be able to have you come here and join with us to see some of this. This is not just going to be an astronomy destination for people. We hope to restore this particular piece of land, a good portion of it, to natural prairie. So a lot of this already is fairly natural for the area, prairie type plants, but there's a lot more that we can do. We need to take out some of the ones that are here. Those some things we'll need to do with some of the trees, but the idea is that this will really be a place where you could get away from it, and it's so quiet here. you will be able to just get away from life, both day and night, because at night you'll be able to see all those stars when it's clear, and during the day there's not much to hear, except occasionally you might see way off in the distance over there over my shoulder. There is a farm which they have sheep and chickens and goats. The cows are not over here, but they do have cows too. But so occasionally we get coyotes at night, which is always interesting to hear them, but they don't come here when there are people here, although they do come through here. I've got some trail cameras, which makes it interesting to see when the coyotes are coming through. But that is what we plan to do with this particular piece of property that we are really excited to both have and share with people. We've got our first event coming up on December 4th. We plan to have more when the moon and the skies obviously allow for it, but that is what we are trying to accomplish. So the last thing that I want to let you know is that I have been working on my astrophotography skills, because one thing I learned about astrophotography is that unlike visual observing, where you need to bundle up and you're outside for hours in the cold or whatever, or trying to keep mosquitoes at bay, once you set up your equipment and start the camera, you can go back inside and just wait. So that's what I've been doing, and here's a couple examples of me having done that. I've been able to improve somewhat, finally figured out a few things like how to get good focus and get tracking and all that kind of stuff. So I plan to share those things with you in the months ahead. Because I know people have asked me about astrophotography. There's a lot of really good astrophotography resources out there, but what they share and what I share, everyone does it a little differently. Everyone has a little bit different perspective to share, so I hope I can share a perspective that's a little bit unique and different, and builds on some of what they've done, but also maybe advances some things in directions that they have not done, just because that's not the equipment that they've had or how their experience has been with doing astrophotography. So I don't think there's any, it's not really a competition. It's more a matter of, hey, here's how we're all doing it. But this is definitely an exciting opportunity for us. We hope that you will be able to share with us if you happen to be in the Chicago area and we have a meetup event, or if you're going to be visiting here and want to join us for one of those. We don't have the meetups entirely set out in advance at the moment. We're really just kind of feeling our way forward because the land is still new and we don't have a whole lot of things set up for it yet, but we have done a little bit and really just want to be able to show people how a dark sky looks so that we can get some people thinking about how we can move towards less of the light that they use at night. See that it's not necessarily scary being in the dark, and then when you do need light, you can use light that lights up what you need with the amount of light that's necessary and no more than that, and so that we can start making an impact with light pollution in a positive direction so that we get more people with skies that are darker. They may not have what we have here, but if we can improve our skies by improving the ones that people have under urban and suburban areas, so much the better. Everyone's going to see more stars where they are, and then they can come see even more here. So that's what's happening, and I hope you will forgive me for being gone for a while, but I also hope you understand why I did and what we have planned going forward and how we look to make use of that and include you in part of that in person occasionally. And if not, then we'll do it through YouTube as we have in the past for the past 10 plus years. And thanks so much for watching. If you are not a subscriber, I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button and joining us in this journey as we continue forward with all the cool things that we look to share with everyone who watches. Thanks so much.